It took me 15 hours to fly here from the UK to a place that I've always wanted to see. I'm joining 40 others on a coach trip across Alaska and the Canadian Yukon. Over 12 days, we'll cover 3,000 miles and crisscross the Canadian-US border 5 times. It is a massive state. Let me put it into perspective for you. If you were to put England, Spain, France and Italy together, well then you'd be talking about the size of Alaska. But traveling around Alaska on a coach doesn't mean you're going to be stuck on 4 wheels all the time. There are so many things to see in this country, and this is one you can't miss. Prince William Sound. 10,000 miles of protected waterways, rich in wildlife, set against 10,000 glaciers. This ice you see in the glacier here is 2,000 years old. It actually takes 30 foot of snow to make 1 inch of ice. So you can just imagine how much snow had to fall to create that. Now, although these glaciers have been around for about 2,000 years, the first time a white man ever saw one was only 100 years ago. You can't really get... Oh, look, it's breaking, look. Look at that! Wow. Back on board, we left Alaska behind for the Canadian Yukon. First stop in Canada, Carcross, just over the Yukon border. The name for this gold rush town is a shortening of Caribou Crossing. This town is exactly what I thought the Yukon would look like. The store here is over 100 years old. It's living history. It dates all the way back to the gold rush. This is the White Pass and Yukon Railway. It was built over 100 years ago, of course, because of the gold rush. It only took them 2 years to build this track through some of the roughest terrains ever. It took tens of thousands of men to build this remote railroad. It takes 3 hours to travel from Whitehorse in the Yukon to Skagway. Before this, people had to actually drag half a ton of their belongings back and forth between the 2 destinations.
We do coach tours all over the world, and we always do coach tours.
Why?
Well, 2 reasons really. Because the coaches know where they're going, they know where to stop, how long to stop for. And secondly, I don't have to drive on the wrong side of the road.
How did the 2 of you get on being stuck together for 2 weeks in a coach and in hotels?
Well, you answer that same as usual.
Well, I've been with her for 40-some years, so what's an extra fortnight?
Momentarily in Alaska again, we headed back once more to the Yukon. There's an awful lot of early morning starts. We had one at 5, one at 5:30, one at 6. I think the latest we had was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I think it's down to the old balance of traveling in the bus, early mornings, and then what you see. And I think that what you see at the moment for me is outweighing the traveling. And I think when I get back, I'll realize that all this will go away because you'll only remember what you saw.
Stay down.
Martha Taylor trains racing huskies used in winter for endurance races across the frozen wastes. The Yukon Quest, one of the most famous and the toughest dog sleigh races in the world.
Come up! Oh, come up!
Whoa, holy God. The huskies' main training time is winter, but in the summer, light training takes place in the form of towing a quad bike.
Okay, get ready to lean left.
Lean left.
Ha! Ha!
They must have amazing stamina.
They run hard for 4 hours, they rest for 4 hours, they're up and ready to go again. And if you do the math, in a 1,000-mile race in a 10-day stretch, they're basically doing 100 miles a day, 10 days in a row.
Dawson City, where the Klondike and the Yukon rivers meet, and the language is still gold. This is where it all began. Now, there's a number of different stories of actually how it started, but the one I like the most, the one about Tagus Charlie. Apparently he was downstream and he met a couple of local prospectors and asked them where was the gold. They told him it was up in the hill, so off he went, set up his claim, and to everyone's disbelief he struck it rich. And so the Klondike Gold Rush was on. People from around the country gave up everything and moved here to stake their claim and strike it rich. Most, however, left with nothing. Dawson City has retained its authenticity and still remains a gold mining town today. And it's retained some hick customs as well. Well, this next thing I'm about to do even surprises me. It's one of the oldest traditions in the Yukon.
The toe goes into your drink, John. You can drink it fast or you can drink it slow, but the toe must touch your lips and I must witness that.
Yes, it is a human toe, lost by some poor soul to frostbite. The donors of the toe are left anonymous, and this tradition has been going on for almost a century. No. Okay, here we go. I've just become a member of the Sour Toe Club. "100 miles from Dawson, on the top of the World Highway, we crossed into Alaska one last time." You know, when you come this far north, it would be rude not to go the whole way. After all the travelling I've done, what's another couple of hours? But it does come at a price. A third of Alaska is within the Arctic Circle, and I was flying another 200 miles north. This is Anaktuvik. It's got a population of 300 people, it's 90 miles from the nearest village, and the only way you can get here is by plane. It's only 200 miles from here to the Arctic Ocean, and the village is situated at the base of the Brooks mountain range. Darrell, this is really the middle of nowhere. The town has no roads into it, so you're completely remote. Is it self-sufficient?
Yes, we do have everything we need right here in the village. We have a local grocery store, we have a local school, so everything we need is right here. Not too many people leave this place. I guess they grow up here.
Would you never be tempted to move into a city or move back?
Yes, I am tempted in the future to move out of this place.
Why?
It's too small, and I'm related to most everybody here in town, so I will look to the outside to find a wife or a girlfriend. So
you won't find somebody here?
Oh, I'm related to everybody.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
So you got to go looking for a wife?
Yes.
I've travelled nearly 3,000 miles on this trip. I have to admit, spending most of that time in a bus hasn't been easy, but the scenery, the vastness and the wilderness have made it all worthwhile. Alaska is a place that I've always wanted to see, and I was worried it wouldn't live up to my expectation. But I'm delighted to say it has, and I might even say it surpassed it.